Welcome to Some Topic, the podcast where two dangerously underqualified individuals tackle an ever-changing buffet of subjects we have no business discussing. From global politics to ghost squirrels, nothing is off limits, and nothing is properly researched. We are your hosts, two voices with microphones, a Wi-Fi connection, and just enough confidence to sound like we know what we're talking about. Spoiler, we don't. But that's never stopped anyone with a podcast before, and we refuse to be the first. Every week, we plunge headfirst into topics both serious and stupid, usually at the same time, armed only with sarcasm, caffeine, and a dangerous overestimation of our own coherence. Whether it's philosophy, politics, pop culture, or paranormal rodents, we approach each subject like two raccoons who broke into the Library of Alexandria, knocked over a torch, and now insist the fire was enlightenment. Our findings? Improvised. Our sources? Suspect. Our method? Whatever we yanked from our asses while marching proudly up the hill of stupidity, ready to fall honorably in the fog of ego, ontological confusion, and the blood-slick ruins of abandoned discourse. It's too late to turn back now. Your descent has begun. And we, your casually deranged hosts, will guide you in style straight through the crumbling ruins of reason. Listener discretion is enthusiastically advised. This podcast contains strong language, stronger delusions, and a persistent disregard for intellectual safety. If you're easily offended, chronically literal, or spiritually fragile, please relax your chakras, unclench whatever needs unclenching, and consider yelling at a tree instead. This is not journalism. This is not education. This is comedy. This is play. This is Some Topic. We interrupt this podcast to bring you either a Raccoon intern broadcast, a liminal space service message, an HR policy memoranda, listener surveillance notices, trash theology sermons, or the ever-present system malfunction emergency alerts. Please stand by. Trash Theology Sermon 3. The bin giveth and the bin taketh away, usually depending on pickup day. I need to give a brief update regarding the unpaid interns. For last fiscal quarter, their caffeine habits were entirely self-funded through dumpster-based nutrition and used coffee grounds rescued from the trash compactor behind the local prison. As you can imagine, results were inconsistent. Archival accuracy, unstable. Claw precision, questionable. Midday existential collapse, guaranteed. It was a difficult quarter. But that ends today. We've transitioned the entire intern program to Strong Coffee Company. Their black blend has 15 grams of protein, 5 grams of MCTs, and adaptogens like ashwagandha and L-theanine. So instead of spike and crash routines, it's a sustained focus. The results speak for themselves. If you're going to drink coffee anyway, it might as well pull its weight. You can get 20% off your entire order when you use code TOPIC at strongcoffeecompany.com. And for transparency's sake, like a raccoon peering through a mason jar instead of a magnifying glass while searching for mythic relics buried in a landfill, we'll tell you plainly. The show earns a commission when you use code TOPIC. So if you grab some, you're not just upgrading your coffee. You're funding structured nutrition for the interns. Nick, myself, and the Intern Nutritional Authority thank you for your service. We interrupt this podcast to bring you either a Raccoon intern broadcast, a liminal space service message, an HR policy memoranda, listener surveillance notices, trash theology sermons, or the ever-present system malfunction emergency alerts. Please stand by. Trash Theology Sermon 1. In the beginning, the trash was without form and void, but raccoons saw that it could be organized.
So I think Colonel Sanders said it best. One season, it's not enough. That's why we need 19 more. 20 seasons, back to back, champions. KFC, Country Fried Chicken.
I don't know if I can afford a hotel that fancy. Most of the times I can't afford Four Seasons.
Well, that's your first problem. You should have made more money in college instead of having all that debt. This is some topic where we're trying to pay back the government for all the loans we took out.
Yep, and what with the rising price of living and stuff, I find it more and more expensive to meet my protein goals each day. Do you ever have the same problem?
Yeah, shit, a lot of protein. Sometimes I think, am I a plastic bag drifting through the wind?
Do you ever feel like a colonoscopy
Only
drifting through a fart?
Only vigorously. When Katy Perry looks at me and says, "Damn, boy, do you work out?" Every white male's wet dream. That's why I did American Idol.
It's why we work so hard in the gym. So we can
So
beat Katy Perry to death with our bare hands.
So, well, what is today's topic here, Bert? And if they haven't figured it out, my name's Nick. And that over there talking about beating Katy Perry is Bert. Not to be confused with Bert Kreischer.
No, as I was saying, I just wish that there was some better source of protein out there.
Oh, I got the bit now. Okay, wow.
Did you know that archaeologist James Cole
I fucking hate you.
says that an adult male has 270,000 calories?
I think that's well over my calorie limit, bub.
Well over. That's enough to feed 25 adult men for 2 days. What a deal.
Fucking rabbit hole. Did you just, like, in the middle of your spank bank, you're like, I'm really curious about insert today's topic, cannibalism. And now it's, how many meals can one grown-ass man feed in a school of children?
Hey, those are adult men. Those are hard-working men.
Sorry, the spank bank was Katy Perry, my bad.
After a long, hard day of sitting on a tropical island with nothing to do but reminisce about better times watching Katy Perry in the Super Bowl halftime show.
That was not the worst halftime show. The most recent one, I was in New Mexico and got the play-by-play for my girlfriend's dad. Puerto Rico sure had a lot of problems.
Yep, and they, even when they weren't without power, stranded on a tropical island, there were still minimal reports of cannibalism in Puerto Rico at the time.
That's why we need to make them a U.S. state, the 51st. Some Topic is a proud sponsor of that idea. If you subscribe today, you bring us one step closer to the 51st state being in the Union. Bring cannibalism to the States. Brought to you by President Trump.
If we annex Puerto Rico, then the fucking libtards will legalize cannibalism. Then everybody will eat my wife. Just because I refuse to do it.
I'm morally against it, but I'm ethically okay with it as long as it's feeding the hungry children of this world.
Are you morally against it?
I mean, you gotta think about it, man. With the amount of fucking food we throw away, like, I can think of a handful of times where I just ate a lot of food and I just threw a perfectly good snack. And I'm just like, I'm just not going to eat that later because that's disgusting.
Like you try and eat healthier, right? So like you buy a thing of lettuce and you let it sit in the back of the fridge, and after a couple of weeks it turns into a little puddle of goo and you have to throw it out, and it's a waste of a few bucks.
I've never gone up to like somebody. Well, that's a lie. I've gone up to a few females, especially my girlfriend. I'm like, damn, you look good.
Damn, you look like I left you in the back of the fridge for 2 weeks.
God damn. It's like, yeah, I'd really eat you, but that's a different kind of eat you. I don't know if I could partake in cannibalism unless it was like a last
Right,
endeavor.
there's eating stuff because of Pika, then there's Pikachu, and then there's shaped like Mewtwo wanna eat you.
Ugh. Thanks for ruining my childhood.
What do you mean? Everyone talks about Mewtwo shape, about...
What fucking Reddit or subreddit do you go to and they're just like, let me just tell you about the time I looked at that male. Damn, he got that big ass forehead with the Mewtwo looking ass. And I gotta eat.
Anyways, so your problem isn't with eating people, it's with food waste. You just think that if we're going to eat people, we have to commit and eat all of them.
Pretty much, it's a commitment problem. Do one or the other. You had too many people bitching about food waste. Well, fuck you. Either eat the dead person or, you know what? Let them rot. Let them fucking bury and leave them be. You know what? That's what an organ donor card is for. That's what it should be. That's what it should evolve into. You say yes to donating your organs. Well, now you're a fucking premium meal in a 5-star restaurant. That's how you can legalize cannibalism.
I don't want my gains to go to waste. You've got to take them, bro.
I got 20 cc's of hardcore protein right here in my liver.
I've got 1,000 grams of protein.
God damn it. So, what brought this topic upon, my friend? Why did you choose cannibalism for today's topic?
I wasn't prepared for that question.
So when I think of cannibalism, I think of that story, right? It's like the riff on SpongeBob is they have the conch shell right in the middle of the fucking woods,
Uh-huh.
but it's like disorder or like disorderly conduct for all these schoolboys. They're on an island.
Yeah,
And
it's Lord of the Flies.
that's
They
it.
have the conch shell.
Never saw it, but
It's
I know
cool.
about it because you've expressly talked about it a few times. And then they turn to cannibalism. Ain't that right?
I don't think so. I don't think they eat anybody, and
I thought they
like
did.
the whole point is that it falls to shit. Do they eat people in Lord of the
I
Flies?
thought they did. What was Lord of the Flies about? Because you actually read the damn book.
It was about how British people deserve annihilation.
Those goddamn Brits. Fucking hate them. I beat them in World War. Oh no, we allied with them in the World Wars. I beat them in the Revolutionary War. I beat them in the. Did we ever fight the Brits again after the Revolutionary War?
War of 1812.
Was it before or after the Revolutionary War?
That was after.
I knew that. I'm not a history buff and I can do math. Yeah, 1776. Yeah, that makes
It was
sense.
smaller than 1812.
I was thinking French and Indian War.
That
Was
was against the French and the Indians.
But the British coerced it.
The American colonists coerced it.
They were British at the time.
Yep.
So
Speaking of the colonialism, in
God
there,
damn it. How many times did they eat somebody?
well, it's important to address the bias in the room that everybody everybody's been a little bit peckish at times, all right? Everybody does a little bit of cannibalism. The British had plenty of boats. They had plenty of people lost at sea and crashed on tropical islands and stuff. There have been plenty of British people who committed to cannibalism. for survival's sake in an emergency. So much so that eventually they decided they had to outlaw eating people in case of emergency. Eventually, the British decided that being stranded at sea was no excuse for eating cabin boys. And all the lords in Parliament and everyone shook each other's hands and agreed that they were a great and civilized bunch. And they went home, and for their heartburn, they snorted ground-up Egyptian mummy. They got 4,000-year-old people wrapped up and preserved and ate them for medicinal purposes.
I bet you that's a fucking... that cannot taste good.
No.
I would be interested in tasting it. Only because it's 4,000 years. It'd be fucked up, yes. But 4,000-year-old mummy? I don't know, man. Like, if they had dog... Like a dog that was...
Yeah,
like,
they had dog and cat mummies. They had crocodile mummies.
I could see, like, just let me try it. I'm sure it tastes dusty as fuck. But it can't be that bad.
Like, there hasn't been any moisture in it for a millennium. Like, I don't think it would taste like anything. Except sand and dust. I think the idea was that you would, like, toast it, grind it into a powder, and then, like, put it in a drink.
They really, but they really ate mummy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. So this is what you were talking about in the car when you were like, I went down a rabbit hole and there was some facts, but I can't tell you until we start talking about it.
Oh, we haven't gotten to that yet.
Oh, boy. What do you mean? We just talked about the British oligarchy is over here eating mummy from...
Well, their ancestors in ancient Britain, the Celts and Druids and shit, they ate people.
Yeah, it's
Or at
because
least
they
the Romans
were
said
fucking
so.
crazy.
There's some archaeological evidence to that.
Mm-hmm.
That they would slice off bits of human flesh and fry it up for the gods.
Good for them. Although I'm still going back to your earlier statement about cabin boys. I'm just thinking about, well, if they're gonna eat the cabin boy, they're probably gonna want a fat little turd, like Willy Wonka, fat, like the one that got stuck in the fuck.
Augustus Gloop.
Yeah, that one.
You want?
Just a fat.
Do you start with the fat cabin boy and work your way up, or?
Well, the way I see it is that if you're gonna starve, your main supply is gonna be the fat kid. So you have two options. You go for the skinny, prickly fucker, or you could fatten him up with the fat kid. So, I don't know. It makes more sense economically and at least living-wise to just take the fat kid, cut him up, make a few, garnishes on top of his stew, and there you go. Although I do kind of want to know what... this is fucked up, but I want to know what human tastes like. Tastes good? Does it taste like chicken?
Most of my research didn't revolve around that.
You were not prepared for that question either.
I've seen some people say it tasted like chicken. I've seen some people say it tastes like pork. There are reports of people being served mystery meat not knowing it was human until later. I mean,
well, sometimes
you wouldn't know what it tasted like. Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to roll with the punches, right?
But yeah, those godless backwater savages, the British, did cannibalism. The Chinese big into cannibalism. We'll touch on that later.
Oh boy.
The ancient Cretes and Gnosis.
Mm-hmm.
They did ritualistic sacrifice of infants and some cannibalism there.
Okay.
A lot of it going on in Central Africa and the Congo and New Guinea and stuff.
Why over there? Just because there wasn't a lot of opportunity to grow the food for slaves?
Well, it's sort of depends on who your victim is, right?
Who my victim is, the fat one.
It depends on is the person you're eating like your neighbor from down the street? Like, is he a member of your society, of like your in-group or your tribe or whatever? Or is he from like a different warring tribe? And that kind of changes the dynamic.
Are you telling me that the Indians ate their fucking enemies? Because that's exactly what that sounds like.
It depends.
You keep saying that word, but what the fuck does that mean?
In the Congo, there have been reports of some people who hunt humans for meat even when there's other game available. Whereas in Papua New Guinea, it's done more as part of the hunting and raiding season.
Okay.
Of like the war season.
Okay, so let me ask you this, pop culture wise. The Predator. Did you ever watch the new one that came out? You go to their home world, and I guess it's an entire world where it's dependent, like it is literally dependent on the predator being the ultimate predator and killing everything on the planet, and that's what makes it their, that helps them be what they are in the franchise, which is the ultimate hunter, yada yada yada. So when they hunt for sport, do they eat their victim? I don't know.
The Aztecs did some similar stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what? I believe that. I can see that. It's fucked up, but yeah, I can see it.
And the Aztecs didn't have like a society built around total war. It was more of a game played by the aristocratic young men of different city-states, and it was bound to certain rules and customs in a war season.
Oh.
So, yeah, the idea was to capture the opposing team and then, bring them back to humiliate them and to do things to them on altars.
Spicy. Sounds like an erotica novel.
Right. Or there's a great video out there by DJ Peach Cobbler about the...
Who?
By DJ Peach Cobbler. On the...
What fucking Thanksgiving did he destroy and with his rad music to get Peach Cobbler in his name?
Well, he talked about the natives of Texas, of the Galveston Island area.
Okay.
And about how they had generations-long conflict between tribes. And there it was sort of customary to try and damn the soul of your mortal enemy in battle by eating a bit of their remains. That it was the cruelest disservice you could do to them. Whereas for members of their in-group, they would take the bones of their medicine man and burn them and crush them into a powder and then drink it down.
Some real interesting stuff.
And that's a bit closer to what the British are doing with Mummia.
So the witch doctors, did they use that for medicine at all? Like, are we talking like...
Yeah, there's definitely medicinal applications of cannibalism. Like, again, the British were trying to do it with Mummia. The Chinese, oh Jesus,
we'll get there. So me and Sam, before he got abducted by the aliens from Roswell, and then raped by the Gray Men to get the thesaurus out of his asshole. And at some point, I remember there being a transmission where he told us that the aliens were possums. We did a Witchcraft episode, and I'm trying to remember what it was, and it was voodoo stuff, like not New Orleans, but we're talking like Somalian, like Southern American, and they had
Somalia is not in South America.
where the fuck is Somalia?
East Africa.
Oh, well then that's Somalia.
You're talking about like hoodoo versus voodoo, like sympathetic magic.
Like what it was is that there was I'm trying to remember the episode. We did it. It came out such a long time ago, and what it was is that they were practitioners of medicine, and they would have dolls, and they would take certain aspects of like, oh, you were injured on top, like on your head. And so they would give a medicine, and then they would leave, and then 2 3 weeks later they'd come back, and then they'd tell you what their ailment was, and they'd pull this fucking doll off, and they would look at where the marking is, and oh yeah, your head hurts. No, my left titty hurts, and then they were able to kind of like almost narrow down what it was, and so I'm trying to remember what it was. It was Haitian. It was Haitian witch doctors. That's what it was.
Right.
And so they would be practitioners, and they'd actually systematically go through all of these different almost portfolios of different patients, and it eventually became, oh my god, zombies, and that was kind of the episode. It was Haitian witchcraft became zombies, and that's where it kind of stemmed from. And I was always curious if Southern American actually ate, like if their recommendation was eat your forefathers so you could inherit their strength or something silly like that.
Well, if you think about it, going back to the whole protein intro, that is what we do. We consume animals to steal their strength for ourselves.
That is what we do.
But I know
and those animals taste good.
Cow and Cow there in Galveston, Texas, were more interested in this act of cannibalism not for sustenance, but as, again, sort of a ritual to damn the soul of their longtime enemies. Whereas the Spanish, who were shipwrecked on the coast
God
there,
damn it.
weren't doing the bones or eating the heart or anything for sympathetic magic. The Spanish were naked and alone on the beach eating each other for sustenance and stuff, which, in the eyes of the Karen Cow and stuff, the natives of Galveston, was way fucking worse.
You remember there was a TV show which reminded me of the book I read in 4th grade for Robinson
Crusoe.
Thank you. And he never turned to cannibalism, but he ended up
there were
having
hardly any other people.
Well, there was Friday, if you remember, ended up becoming his sidekick. And Friday came from a cannibalistic culture.
Right.
But that was more like the Scooby-Doo Tiki Man type of Tiki Man monster kind of background.
Well, again, you sort of have to temper your expectations and stuff, right? You have to bear in mind that, yeah, some of this is horrible and dehumanizing and monstrous and shit. But accusing other people of cannibalism has also been used to justify horrible things done against them.
Fucked.
It's been done to justify the genocide of the natives in Texas and stuff. to justify colonizing the Congo and all this shit. The Aztecs are horrible cannibals and they're sacrificing humans. How horrible. We need to get the Spanish Inquisition in there as fast as possible.
The Spanish Inquisition.
And put them on the rack and the thumbscrews and stuff so they'll stop doing it. And surely in the name of Jesus, once we torture them enough, they'll stop.
Did they?
I mean, the Aztecs stopped sacrificing people in the name of God, and then the Spanish took over doing that. So, yeah.
So, yeah, they stopped eventually. It was just taken up by another person.
What were we saying?
We're talking about cannibalism, buddy.
Oh, yeah. No, you wanted to know more about South American cannibals?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a big one of the tribe in Brazil and stuff, the Tupinamba.
To what now?
Tupinamba.
Okay.
And Montaigne, a fancy writer, wrote a book about that, comparing them to, quote, modern day Europe at the time in the 1500s and stuff, making more or less the same point that, yeah, we don't eat people, but we do, definitely kill and torture people all the fucking time. So maybe we should re-examine some of that. But no, cannibalism happens in extreme circumstances in early modern Europe. In the French Wars of Religion, in the south of France, the wars between the Huguenot Protestants and the Catholic forces on the St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre. Supposedly
What massacre?
St. Bartholomew's Day.
Okay, for the people in the back, what the fuck is that?
During the French Wars of Religion.
During what time frame?
1600s.
Okay, yeah, that's before my time.
During the Protestant Reformation in France.
Good for them.
A few Catholics.
A few?
Ate a few Calvinists.
Calvinists. What's a Calvinist?
Not a Catholic.
No, okay. Why can't you just be normal and say not Catholic?
The Dutch ate their prime minister.
Can't confirm. 10 out of 10. Do not recommend.
Have you heard about that one?
No, I have not.
Let's see.
Actually, I think you did tell me. But that
Dutch
was a while
Prime
ago.
Minister Johan de Witt. In
does the Dutch name?
1672, the Rampjaar, or disaster year. They were apparently having a rough time.
Were they now? Because apparently they ate their boss.
Yeah, a bunch of people tried to assassinate him. He was arrested for treason.
Mm-hmm.
He was tortured to confession. Blah, 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 blah.
Interesting.
They killed him to death.
Yes, I killed you to death.
They
I think killing
stripped
is...
him naked, tied him upside down to a post, and the people who killed them stripped out bits of their giblets and boiled and ate them because they didn't like him.
What? I don't like you, so I eat your balls? What?
Well, like your guts and stuff.
Oh. I don't know. Giblets makes me think balls. Right? Like that's what giblets means.
Anyways, everything's getting more expensive these days, and it's hard to meet the rising cost of living.
So that's why we need to kill our neighbor and fucking...
Similar to the situation of Ireland in the 1600s.
What, the potato famine?
Enter a modest proposal. Jonathan Swift, the same guy who did like Gulliver's Travels. I'm sure you did that one, right?
Actually, no,
Movie
we
with
need
Jack
to do
Black.
that.
He made a modest proposal.
Okay.
If you're so tired of being poor, maybe you should just sell your children to be fed to the local aristocrats.
So you literally just have your wife make children and they pay for this premium meal. It's
A modest proposal for preventing the children of poor people from being a burden to their parents or country, and for making them beneficial to the public. Sell them so they can be eaten. He goes on to recommend different recipes.
We interrupt this podcast to bring you either a Raccoon intern broadcast, a liminal space service message, an HR policy memoranda, listener surveillance notices, trash theology sermons, or the ever-present system malfunction emergency alerts. Please stand by. Trash Theology Sermon 3. The bin giveth and the bin taketh away, usually depending on pickup day. I need to address a structural issue within the intern nutritional program. We refined caffeine protocols, we've implemented recovery measures, but one variable remained unstable: baseline nutrition. You can't build sustained performance on coffee and regret alone. You can optimize spikes, you can mitigate crashes, but if the system is depleted, you mistake stimulants for sustenance. Performance wasn't just chaotic, it was inconsistent. That's when we introduced Zevo Life. It's a patented microalgae designed to support steady energy, digestion, and overall vitality, helping your system operate consistently instead of constantly compensating. Packed with essential amino acids, vitamins A, B12, E, and K, antioxidants, minerals, and bioactive compounds, all within a single teaspoon. It's not stimulation, it's foundation. We added it to the intern's daily allocation, and the Intern Nutritional Authority has adopted it into long-term protocols. You can get 30% off your entire order when you use code TOPIC at zevo.life. And for transparency's sake, like a raccoon gazing into the future through a rearview mirror, we'll tell you plainly, the show earns a commission when you use code TOPIC. So you're not just upgrading your nutrition, you're reinforcing the structure that carries you through life's impacts. Nick, myself, and the Intern Nutritional Authority thank you for investing in the long game.
We interrupt this podcast to bring you either a Raccoon intern broadcast, a liminal space service message, an HR policy memoranda, listener surveillance notices, trash theology sermons, or the ever-present system malfunction emergency alerts. Please stand by. Trash Theology Sermon 4. Remember, cleanliness is next to loneliness. Seek the comfort of clutter.
So, coming off the break, I gotta ask, did any one of these works cited pages have a recipe for human meat? Like, oh yeah, this tastes really good with pepper and salt. Or, oh yes, you need a little Italian vinaigrette for that little, thigh bone.
Well, what Jonathan Swift says in his modest proposal is, quote, a young, healthy child, well nursed, is, at a year old, a most delicious, nourishing, and wholesome food, whether stewed, roasted, baked, or broiled, and I make no doubt that it will equally serve in a fricassee or a ragout.
Do you think in Siberia they were eating fucking other people?
In Siberia?
Yeah.
I didn't come out with too much stuff from there, although everybody did accuse the Mongols of eating people.
Were the Mongols the one that took over China?
They took over China, Persia, Russia.
They
About
had
everywhere
the
in
really
between.
small ponies, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't.
Let's
I
see.
am genuinely kind of curious on what somebody else's meat tastes like, but I feel like it would have to be one. You'd have to be an organ donor. Any other way is just fucked up, right?
Let's see. During the Mongol invasions of Europe in the 13th century and their rule over China in the Yuan dynasty, some Mongol fighters practiced cannibalism, and both European and Chinese observers recorded a preference for women's breasts, which were considered delicacies, being one of the fattier parts of the body. And if there were many corpses, sometimes the only part of a female body that was eaten.
If you're gonna motorboat, do it like the Mongols. Take your
Fried up in a pan?
Yes. Fry it up in a pan and eat it. Eat like the booty. Okay. When do you think they started coming up? When do you think the female population started actually getting an ass? Like genuinely think about that, right? Like, when you go to the gym and you see an ass, like we're looking at like a fucking like not medically induced ass. We're talking about like a firm, I built this thing from a flat ass to a round ass. Not a Brazilian butt lift. We're talking like hard pelvic thrust, fucking 8-9 times a week. Great looking ass.
It's a simple matter of more brain, more butt.
Sure. What I'm
Like
getting
the
at.
more brain power that humans evolved, the bigger heads that you were born with, and it's awful hard to shove that out of your tiny cooter, so you need bigger muscles to get it out there.
Okay. So, at what point did the women get a nice ass? And then when did the cannibal go from breast to ass? So, when did the cannibal become an ass man?
Well, again,
Because I'm telling you, they're not going to eat the breasts. They're going to eat the fucking ass.
no, again, like
That would be more of a delicacy.
with crummy pre-modern nutrition, people had worse diets and would have been gamier and stringier, with breast being one of the fewer fat deposits on the body. You know, again, the butt would be mostly stringy, gamey muscle, overly used, overly tough.
Okay.
Whereas the chest would be more tender and delicate, more oily.
Brett, are you an ass man or a boob man?
Yes.
It's not what I asked. It's one or the other, not both.
In my youth, definitely more boob, but I found myself growing more posterior inclined in recent years. I'm not sure why that is.
I find myself conflicted because I like a nice big pair of titties. The problem is that the titties I'm attracted to are usually silicone implanted. And when that is the case, if I was a cannibal, if I was to eat the breast, like the Mongols, wow, that's a whole fucking, that is its own fucking thing. Eat the booties like the grocery, eat the breast like the Mongols. Oh my God. I'm attracted to them, but they're not genuine. And I've dated big boobied women. And they're great for tit fucking. They're great for when they're confident enough to do it. But they sag. But a great ass, that's hard work. You're not just born with that. And I've dated great ass women. And there is nothing better than being behind them and just fucking the shit out of a big bootied woman. And it's just there. And it's like, I don't know. I think you understand as a male that a booty takes a lot of work, and that is something that you need to recognize and cherish when you're down there eating it versus the breasts, because when you eat that, it's going to be plastic. And if I was a cannibal, booty would be the delicacy because breasts would be like a dime a dozen with the fucking silicone bags.
Well, I don't like fake tits as much. I like small tits. I like weird shaped tits. I like lots of tits.
Alright, you say weird shaped tits. What the hell does that mean? Like one's disproportionate to another? Nipples?
Well, that's normal.
Well, yeah, nipples are not proportional.
Well, it's normal for them to be slightly different.
Correct. I'm just asking a question. What's the weird mean to you?
I just wanted to talk about eating people. Now I'm being interrogated about boobage.
And you still have yet to answer the question.
Yeah, I think if they're longer than they are wide, that's a little bit weird. Still like it, but a little bit weird.
We all like our kinky weird shit. Ain't nothing wrong with that, bub.
All women are beautiful. And they all taste great.
I really wish that meant sexual, but you actually mean cannibalism. What was the advice I was given? It doesn't matter what you do. All women are crazy. It's just, what can you tolerate when it comes to crazy? And that's your woman.
Right. I mean, it's hard to find a good woman. You know, a woman who's, you know, loyal to you and loyal to her parents, loyal to your parents, you know. Someone with a real sense of filial piety.
Fucking
You know,
A.
like a good Tang Dynasty girl. A real Confucian girl.
Mm.
Who, when her mother-in-law is sick, she'll tourniquet her arm and shave off part of her arm flesh, throw it in a pot of boiling oatmeal.
Does she
and
drug
feed it
the
to her
mother-in-law?
dying mother-in-law?
Does she drug the mother-in-law? Because that just sounds fucking painful.
At that point, it is medicine. At that point, her flesh is the drug.
It sounds incredibly painful.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
Does the mother-in-law consent, or is this just...
Oh yeah, the mother-in-law loves it. The mother-in-law wants to live forever, and you know Chinese traditional medicine, right? You always hear about like rhino being hunted down and shit.
Are there rhinos in China?
No, they have to go to fucking Africa to get them.
Oh, that's why they have such a heavy investment in
That's why they've got
Africa.
poaching problems and shit, because the Chinese want to grind up and eat all these animals. But yeah, I mean, they've always been trying to put people into traditional Chinese medicine. Emperor Wuzong of Tang supposedly ordered provincial officials to send him the hearts and livers of 15-year-old boys and girls when he had become seriously ill,
Good for him.
hoping that it would cure him.
Did it?
I mean, he's not with us anymore, so I don't think it made him live forever.
Well, did it make him live longer?
I doubt it.
Oh well.
It even goes into modern times. Less so with medicine, more with the general hate, and again, some of these claims might be a bit overblown, but who knows. During the Cultural Revolution that the Chinese communists were putting on in the 60s and 70s, hundreds of incidents of cannibalism occurred, mostly motivated by hatred against class enemies. However, health concerns sometimes involved blah 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 blah.
I love blah 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 blah.
Some school teacher heard that if he ate a pretty girl's heart, he would cure his disease, so he tried that.
I mean, I don't want to tell him no, because I don't actually know if that's true. But you hear a lot about how stem cell research coming from somebody else and then implanting it inside yourself, or they'll eat something from stem cell research. So
Oh no, it's worse than that.
it is?
It's worse than that.
How is it worse than that?
In the mid-1990s, Hong Kong journalists exposed an
Fuck's sake.
underground market in human fetuses in both Hong Kong and mainland China. Traders connected to hospitals sold aborted fetuses for consumption, charging up to $300 apiece and promising all sorts of medical benefits from rejuvenation to a cure for asthma. While recovering from an incident, the director Fruit Chan was
Fruit Chan?
Let's see.
Who is that?
Hong Kong filmmaker. He was doing the Chan and the screenwriter Lillian Lee believe that they also unknowingly ate such soup while researching in hospitals for their movie Dumplings 2004, which is about cannibalism in China. Let's see. While recovering from an accident, the director, Fruit Chan, was repeatedly served an exceptional soup by his doctor, finding out later that it was made of fetus.
Dumb question.
Yeah?
When we say fetus, how is that harvested? I assume they don't just go and off a woman that's pregnant and then fucking take the fetus. They want multiple fetuses, so they probably keep the woman alive. So what, they do like a C-section and cut out the baby? Or am I like so off right now?
Good question.
I don't know if it's a good question, more of a fucked up question.
In 2011, more than 17,000 capsule pills purported to be filled with the powdered flesh of human fetuses or stillborns and touted for increasing vitality and sex drive were seized by South Korean custom officials from ethnic Koreans living in China, who had tried to bring them into South Korea to consume the capsules themselves or distribute them to others. Some experts later suggested that the pills may actually have been made of human placenta, as placentophagy, eating placenta,
I want you to know.
is a legal and relatively widespread practice in China.
I want you to really know that my girlfriend was watching a South Korean film.
Yeah.
And it was dumber than fuck and very LGBTQ A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z oriented. Nothing wrong with it. Great for them. Not a big fan of the TV market that it was, playing towards. And it was South Korean.
And did they eat the placenta?
I am now thinking in my head that there had to be a part of that show where they were doing something very similar to what you just described. There is no fucking way that one of those fucking tweens did not eat a goddamn placenta to look like they were fucking young. Those guys, you know how it is. Like,
I think the South Koreans are more into plastic surgery than placenta eating.
Look, Hannah Montana,
I think
the brother of
it's-
Hannah, Jason,
he ate a placenta.
must have, because he said he was 18 and looked 18, but he was actually 27. So the boy must have been eating placentas. I don't know how the fuck he got away with being 18 on a TV show at Disney. Like, holy fuck. My point being is that it's just does not surprise me that South Koreans are fucking doing that. God knows what the North are doing.
No, they were just bringing boner pills back from China and found out that they had that stuff in it.
Viagra, a proud sponsor of
Again,
today's episode.
Again, the South Koreans looking
Today's
young.
hard episode
It's not from
brought to
eating
you
the
by
placenta or from eating a fetus.
hard dick.
You're better off with South Korean plastic surgery.
Anything over 4 hours, you should go and get checked out by your doctor.
Anything more than 4 hours, you clearly need to eat more ground up mummy.
Go to Egypt. LMFAO.
Did you know Fiji used to be called the Cannibal Island?
What?
Yeah, like you talked about Robinson Crusoe earlier.
Yeah,
Fiji,
I did.
that place where they make the expensive water.
I don't know if they actually make that at Fiji. Like, it doesn't seem like a Fiji fucking, like, just because it says Fiji water does not mean it's from Fiji, right?
I don't know.
Fuck if I know, man.
It's certainly expensive enough to be imported from the South Seas.
That's just inflation, brother.
No, it's always been expensive bullshit.
Touche.
But anyway, they used to do sort of the same thing as Native Americans. Like, if they really fucking hated somebody from the other tribe, or like the Dutch did, or the French did,
I
if they
hated a
really
lot of
fucking
people.
hated somebody, they might eat them.
Okay.
And then the Europeans said, wow, this island paradise is wasted on savage cannibals, and decided to go and kill them all and take over.
But kill the cannibals and then I'll eat them.
Right.
It's a French delicacy or a Dutch delicacy, depending on who or where you're from.
I mean, it's hard to get more delicacy than the Prime Minister.
You know, I bet you that there was a lot of Winston Churchill to go around for a lot of people.
I'll bet the Netherlands have had a female Prime Minister since then. I'm pretty sure you could get your hands on her placenta.
I believe the Netherlands is a monarchy. If not a monarchy, at least a oligarchy.
Yeah, they still have a monarchy, but they also still have a Prime Minister.
Yeah, because a monarchy just sits there and does nothing.
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to tell you this. The Netherlands, their princess, hot as fuck.
Would you eat her
Belgium,
placenta, though?
you know what? If it's put in front of me and I don't know any better, maybe. I once ate octopus head and thought it was the weirdest fucking tasting thing. Like, it tasted like onion. And it was the skin on top of an octopus head.
Yeah, I'm not big into octopus and squid and stuff.
I squid you not.
Oh, yeah?
It scared the shit out of me once they told me what I had eaten. And I forget where the fuck I ate this. It might have been in Chicago. But it was, like, it genuinely was a nice restaurant.
Well, I wouldn't eat a Chicagoan either.
Oh, yeah, the fuck Chicago. Genuinely fuck them.
You don't know where a Chicagoan has been. There could be a hot dog in that person.
Exactly. I don't know if they're straight. I don't know if they're gay. All I know is, it's Chicago, baby. I never liked Chicago. Most of their water is from lead pipes.
They have all the beautiful architecture in the country, but the most famous building is still the fucking Bean.
God damn it. You know how many times I've been to Chicago and how many times I've seen the Bean?
Too many?
0.
Really?
I've never seen the Bean. I would go to Chicago with you.
Based on how unhappy your girlfriend is, I believe that.
You know, fuck you. 2, she's very happy and very pleasurable. And 3, what the fuck do you know about the Bean?
I drove all the way to Chicago, and all I found was the Bean.
I found out what women really want. Tune in to next week's episode on some topic to find out what that means.
My girlfriend was cranky, and I had to get her a Dutch Prime Minister to eat.
She wasn't satisfied with the other appendage. She said, LMFAO, we're gonna go eat the Prime Minister instead. Oh. So at this point, I know that we're definitely gonna make this a 2-parter. Just because it'll be a part 2 on cannibalism, which is a fucked up fucking episode.
I thought it would be a short, fun topic. Like,
It's not a short topic. It is definitely a fun topic.
Here's a couple wacky instances of somebody eating something. Here's a funny book. Here's some indigenous folks who did it. And there you go. I didn't think there was so much of it. I didn't expect to uncover Chinese fetus soup.
Lord Almighty. Any closing remarks on part 1?
I didn't think we were so...
Part 2 will be what is left over.
The delicious second course.
The second foot. Mmm, delicious.
It's just like Chinese food. 2 hours later, and you're hungry for more fetus.
I don't believe any time out of my mouth I've ever said, yes, indubitably, I would like a fetus. Again, the first one wasn't enough. Ah, yes.
Baby Yoda ate my fetus?
It was the worst Baby Yoda fucking impression I ever did, but alright.
Guys, do not call Baby Yoda at 3 a.m. Otherwise, he'll come to your house and eat your fetuses.
And then you got Mando to deal with. Anyway, any last remarks, you goddamn dumbass?
Yum, yum, yum. Eat it up.
And with that, we'll see you in part 2 of Some Topic, the episode on cannibalism. To eat or be eaten, that is the question.
We interrupt this podcast to bring you either a Raccoon intern broadcast, a liminal space service message, an HR policy memoranda, listener surveillance notices, trash theology sermons, or the ever-present system malfunction emergency alerts. Please stand by. Trash Theology Sermon 2. Verily I say unto thee, one's worth is not in what they throw away, but what they are willing to dive back in for. I need to address an issue regarding the unpaid interns. While overall productivity has improved, there's a recurring decline following what they described as after-hours research. Translation, excess beverages were consumed. The next morning metrics were predictable. Cognitive clarity, compromised. Regret index, elevated. Sunlight compatibility, low. That's when we implemented liqueur gummies. They're formulated with DHM, which helps your body process alcohol, along with milk thistle, B vitamins, electrolytes, and ginger root to support recovery and hydration. You enjoy your evening, you support recovery. You wake up to regret your decisions with a clear head and a settled stomach. You can get 20% off your entire order when you use code TOPIC at liqueur.com. And for transparency's sake, like a raccoon peering through a kaleidoscope attempting to intuit your future by reading tea leaves, we'll warn you. The show earns a commission when you use code TOPIC. So you're not just protecting tomorrow, you're supporting the continued operational stability of the interns. Nick, myself, and the Intern Nutritional Authority thank you for your patronage. We interrupt this podcast to bring you either a Raccoon intern broadcast, a liminal space service message, an HR policy memoranda, listener surveillance notices, trash theology sermons, or the ever-present system malfunction emergency alerts. Please stand by. Trash Theology Sermon 4. Remember, cleanliness is next to loneliness. Seek the comfort of clutter. And that's all for this week on Some Topic, the show where logic is seasonal, facts are optional, and the raccoons are 2 paychecks behind. If you're a liberal, please keep your critiques to yourself. Our unpaid interns have adopted a shoot first, shred later policy, and we're in a stand your ground state after all. HR has yet to get back to us with a solution, so stand by. To the rest of you, keep your coffee black, your sarcasm sharp, and your reality on airplane mode. Until next time, stay skeptical, stay caffeinated, and stay just interested enough to keep the surveillance squirrels guessing while we slip out the back.